We are going to talk about the 7 deadly sins, how they kill in all ways. Please stay with us until the end. Before we start for the list, let's talk about the source, the root of all those sins, lying as a root cause. Lying is often described as the glue that holds sins together. This is because when it enables sin, lying creates a cover for sinful actions, allowing them to continue unchecked. It multiplies sin. One lie often leads to more lies, compounding the wrongdoing. It separates from truth. By lying, a person distances themselves from truth and integrity, paving the way for other sins to flourish. In this sense, lying acts like fertile soil where the seeds of the other sins can grow. It's not necessarily the origin of all sin, but it's certainly a powerful enabler and amplifier of sinful behavior. Even lying, though not explicitly listed among the traditional 7 deadly sins, is considered a serious sin in many religious and moral systems. Let's talk about those 7 deadly sins, how they kill in all ways. Throughout history, the 7 deadly sins have been a powerful warning. But what makes them so deadly? These aren't just bad habits. They're forces that can kill spiritually, emotionally, socially, and even physically. Today, we'll uncover how each of these sins destroys lives in every way imaginable. 1. The first one is pride, the deadliest sin. Pride, the excessive belief in one's own abilities or superiority, is the root of all sin. How does it kill? Spiritually, pride blinds us to our need for grace, separating us from God. Emotionally, it isolates us, as arrogance alienates others. Socially, relationships crumble when pride prevents apologies or compromise. Physically, overconfidence can lead to reckless decisions, like ignoring health risks or expert advice. Pride comes before a fall. In Proverbs 16:18-2, the second is greed, the insatiable hunger. Greed isn't just wanting more, it's needing more, no matter the cost. Spiritually, greed replaces God with possessions, leading to idolatry. Emotionally, the never-ending chase for wealth breeds anxiety and dissatisfaction. Socially, families and friendships are destroyed by greed-driven betrayals. Physically, overwork and stress, often caused by greed, lead to burnout, heart problems, and more. For the love of money is the root of all evil. In 1 Timothy 6:10-3, the third is lust, the endless craving. Lust turns people into objects, prioritizing physical pleasure over emotional connection. Spiritually, lust distances us from purity and reverence for God's design for relationships. Emotionally, it creates shallow connections, leaving a void of true intimacy. Socially, marriages and families are shattered by infidelity and obsession. Physically, lust can lead to health issues like STDs and addiction, harming the body. Flee from sexual immorality. In 1 Corinthians 6:18-4, the fourth is envy, the poison of comparison. Envy doesn't just make you want what others have, it makes you resent them for having it. Spiritually, envy shows a lack of gratitude for God's blessings. Emotionally, it fuels bitterness and destroys contentment. Socially, envy pits people against each other, leading to sabotage and betrayal. Physically, chronic stress and unhappiness from envy can harm your health. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. In Proverbs 14:35, the fifth is gluttony, consuming beyond need. Gluttony is more than overeating, it's overindulging in anything to the point of waste. Spiritually, it dulls our focus on God by prioritizing worldly pleasures. Emotionally, gluttony creates dependency on consumption for comfort. Socially, resources are wasted, widening inequalities. Physically, overeating and overindulgence can lead to obesity, heart disease, and other health problems. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat. In Proverbs 23:26, the sixth is wrath, the fire that consumes wrath or uncontrolled anger burns everything it touches. Spiritually, it leaves no room for forgiveness or reconciliation, cutting us off from God's mercy. Emotionally, wrath consumes peace, leaving anger and regret. Socially, families, communities, and even nations are torn apart by vengeance and violence. Physically, unchecked anger increases risks of heart attacks, strokes, and other health issues. Human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. In James 1:27, the 7 is sloth, the silent killer. Sloth isn't just laziness, it's neglecting what truly matters. Spiritually, sloth ignores spiritual growth and God's call to action. Emotionally, it leads to guilt, depression, and wasted potential. Socially, responsibilities are abandoned, causing others to suffer. Physically, a sedentary lifestyle can lead to obesity, poor health, and even early death. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. In Proverbs 21:25, the 7 deadly sins don't just threaten our spiritual lives. They destroy us emotionally, socially, and physically. But there's hope. By cultivating humility, gratitude, love, kindness, moderation, patience, and diligence, we can overcome these sins and live fuller, more meaningful lives. The choice is yours. Will you let these sins destroy, or will you choose life? For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. In Romans 6:23, your support is incredibly valuable to us. Take 1 second and click on subscribe. May God bless you.